Some older IT folks on YouTube may remember a video that was posted by a North Carolina YouTube user back in 2011 called Windows XP Activation Horror. And for the longest time, if you didn't have access to the internet, Microsoft would let you activate Windows by phone. However, when I called the Microsoft product activation number after installing a copy of Windows 7 Home Premium, fresh copy for retail, and I called the number ending in 1047 at the top, I got an unusual recording that I was not expecting.
Support for product activation has moved online. For the fastest and most convenient way to activate your product, please visit our online product activation portal at aka.ms/AOH from an internet-connected device, and the portal will guide you through the activation steps.
And when I got the link in the text message, because it used to send you just a regular link, this is what happened. The first thing it asked me, the activation screen for smartphone activation, let me just zoom out here, now requires you to sign in and solve a CAPTCHA. So we'll solve the CAPTCHA here. It then requires you to sign in with your Microsoft account, and if you click Can't Sign In, it just takes you to a generic, help page. And after you sign in, you can see you get the traditional, Microsoft product activation screen. It once again is asking you if you have 6 or 7 digits, but you'll notice here that it shows unspecified up here, and the installation ID is no longer broken into clusters. And when I did enter the installation ID, which is behind this, counterfeit software error message, but the submit button did absolutely nothing. And when I tried going to I don't see my product listed and got the older Windows activation screen, I tried this and it was basically the same thing. But notice up here it says Microsoft product. So it seems that Microsoft may have recently fully killed off phone activation for Windows, but I'm going to give something else a try. I noticed that when Microsoft Office products started saying that telephone activation was no longer available, I noticed that Microsoft has not removed the toll-free number from their website. So let's call this number ending in 7140 and see what happens. Probably going to be the same thing.
Support for product activation.
Yep, it's exactly what I was expecting. So, yeah, apparently Microsoft, as of today, December 18th, has killed off phone activation completely and is now requiring you to sign in. So as of the time of this recording, it is no longer possible to activate old versions of Windows and Office from Windows XP and Office XP, respectively, onward via phone, which is a huge problem because this copy of Windows is using an OEM license key, and because the Microsoft activation servers are unreachable now on Windows 7 and later, unless you install Legacy Update, even with an OEM key, you have to activate the key by phone. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to switch over to my computer. One other thing I've noticed is look at the low quality of that Windows Server logo there. It's like Microsoft didn't even try. Okay, well now on the desktop I get a choice of which version of Windows, which is different. So I'm wondering if Microsoft is updating this as we speak. And because this is normal, this Windows 7 product key is not valid for activation error message is normal with an OEM installation of Windows 7. I used to, obviously, it would work every time when I would activate by phone. So actually scratch the part about not being able to, let me see if I can enter that confirmation ID in my web browser on my laptop in Safari. That's the only difference. Well, actually, one thing before I enter it is I noticed it now says Windows 7 in the top, so let me see if it was maybe just the Firefox mobile browser I was using that's... Okay, so that did work. I got the success message and the confirmation IDs below. I'm not going to show it for security reasons. Interestingly enough, though, it said Office 2010, so it seems that Microsoft is actively changing the way phone activation works. This confirmation ID works, though, first. I'd like to know, because especially considering that it says Office 2010, I want to see if this confirmation ID actually does successfully activate Windows. So let me go ahead and enter this in, and I'll be right back. Okay, activation was successful. So it is still possible to activate Windows by phone. I like how it has an unsafe theme from the counterfeit desktop experience, or the RFM, reduced functionality mode. God, it's been a while since I've used that acronym. But it apparently is still possible to activate Windows by phone. The good news is you can now use your computer without needing a smartphone to do it. The bad news is you now have to use your Microsoft account to do it. So while Microsoft hasn't fully killed off product activation by phone, they're making it a little bit more difficult by now requiring you to sign in with your Microsoft account to activate Windows, Office, or any other product that requires product activation by the telephone, because they no longer have the audio recording where you would simply type in the confirmation and installation IDs on your touch-tone keypad, which was introduced with Windows XP and Office XP back in 2001 when I was only 4 years of age. While phone activation is not completely dead, calling the Microsoft Product Activation phone line will yield that recording we heard earlier. So I wonder how this change is going to affect Microsoft Product Activation going forward, and when the day will indeed come where you can no longer activate any Microsoft product that contains product activation by phone.